that you were drafted in April 1951, and again, you were living in Newington at the time.
Yes, I was, yeah.
All right. Did you have a choice as to which branch of the service you went into?
None whatsoever. I was drafted and they told me where to go.
Okay. And where did you go for boot camp?
Fort Hood,
Fort Hood in what state?
Texas.
Texas. Okay.
You don't know where Fort Hood is? Recently with that the guy, the major that killed 13
Right,
people.
right. Yes. What was boot camp like for you?
A piece of cake. It was like being in the Boy Scouts. We lived in tents.
Really?
We were actually in what they called North Fort Hood.
Okay.
And we lived in tents. Just like being in the Boy Scouts.
And how long were you there?
I'd have to check, but I was only there for I think about 8 weeks.
Okay.
Because then I went to school.
Okay, for?
I went to Camp Breckenridge, Kentucky for auto mechanic school.
All right. And how long were you there?
Oh,
Approximately.
10, 11 weeks.
Okay. All right.
And then I went to Fort Knox, Kentucky for track vehicle school.
All right.
And spent another 10, 11 weeks there.
Any outstanding memories from this section of your service? Any buddies you made?
Well, when we were down in Fort Knox, met a guy that was from Port Chester, New York.
Uh-huh.
And he happened to live next door to Ed Sullivan at the time.
Really?
But anyway, he had his sister's car. And his sister's car was, I think, a 1950 Mercury. This was in 1951.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a fairly new car. And we would drive home every weekend from Fort Knox, Kentucky to Connecticut.
Wow.
He would come home he was married to come home to see his wife, and I would come home to see my girlfriend, which is now my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 3 others that came with us, sat in the back seat, and they paid for the gas. I did most of the driving, so I free of charge.
Wow. That's pretty heavy driving every week. Wow.
Yeah, it was 900 miles. And one week, because we were getting into the winter time, it was snowing while we were out in the field in training, and we were kind of wondering about whether or not we were going to be able to make it home. And 4 o'clock we decided, well, yeah, let's give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the longest trip we ever took because it snowed from there all the way to Connecticut. Never stopped snowing.
My goodness.
We got
Wow.
past the halfway point, and there was a backup on a hill that cars were stuck all over the place, and so we had to sit and wait a while until there was an opening. And having enough weight in the car with 5 people in the car, we just drove right up over the hill, and we never saw a headlight behind us after that.
Wow. Now, after you finished your basic training, did you go immediately to Korea, or?
We went back to Fort Hood
Okay.
for a very short period of time, and then I went overseas.
Okay. And when did you arrive in Korea?
Oh boy. Well, it was probably March or April, I guess,
52?
in 52, yeah. Now we're talking 52, yeah. And,
Okay.
and in fact, it was probably, because I was only in Korea for a year, so probably about then. I don't know the exact date, but.
All right.
But I had a friend of mine classmate that got drafted the same time as I did. He got his order to ship out the same time I did, so we came home at the same time. Except he came home a couple of days earlier. But then it was time to leave. He waited, or I left early to go with him, fly out to the West Coast. And he had to go up to state of Washington to go out. And I went out of Oakland. stayed and we split there.
Hmm. Okay. Now, do you recall what it was like when you first arrived in Korea?
Yeah, I had no idea where the hell I was.
Really, really.
Well, before we got to Korea, we were getting ready to ship out to Korea,
Hmm.
and somebody noticed that I had never qualified with an M1 rifle.
Hmm.
Well, seeing as I didn't stay in Fort Hood for advanced basic training, a lot of the stuff I never heard of a big gun go off, because I went to school instead.
Hmm.
And so they said I got to qualify with the M1 rifle. I said, oh, all right. So the next day they took me out to the firing range and handed me a rifle and 5 rounds. And they said, okay, what do I shoot at? Said, we don't care. Pull the trigger 5 times. You qualify. They didn't give a darn whether I aimed at anything or not.
Huh.
And that was my way to qualify with an M1 rifle. I never saw one after that.
Huh. So they didn't provide any targets or anything like that?
They probably did, but they didn't really care whether I aimed at it or not.
Wow. Wow. Hmm.
Then when I got to Korea, it was dark,
Hmm.
and we're sitting in the back of this half truck, or 3/4 ton truck, and we had no idea where we were going. I don't know how many were on the truck with me, but we kept going and going and going and going, and we kept remarking to each other, "Gee, we're going to be in North Korea before we get through here." And lo and behold, we got there in the middle of the night, and the captain said, "Well, you'll have to sleep in the ammo tent tonight, and then we'll make arrangements for you tomorrow." And of course, I'm thinking I got to sleep with ammo. Well, they gave me a sleeping bag and an air mattress, and the ammo tent happened to be the tent where the ammo crew stays.
Hmm.
And I was blowing up my air mattress, and all these goddamn big guns went blaring off. And I shit my pants, and the air went out of the damn air mattress, and I'm looking, these guys are sound asleep, didn't bother them at all.
Oh my gosh.
But the next day, then I found out that they were going to make me a tank driver, because they're short a tank driver, and they didn't need a mechanic at the time.
Hmm.
So I figured, well, another waste of government money by sending me to school for all this time to make me a driver. So.
Hmm.
But anyway, I told the captain, I said, that's fine if you need a driver, I hope you find one. He says, what do you mean? I said, I look at my records. I don't have a license to ride a bike in this Army. He thumbed through the paper and he says, well, we'll teach you how to drive.
Oh my gosh.
So the guy I'm replacing is the guy that's going to take me out to teach me how to drive, so we take off with a tank, and as soon as we got out of sight, he stops the tank and he says, Jim, he said, do you know how to drive one of these? I said, yeah. He said, well, don't tell anybody. We can goof off for a couple of days anyway.
Wow. So your assignment for the duration was as a tank driver?
No.
Oh. But, well, at the outset though. At the beginning you were...
Tank driver, yeah.
Okay, and for how long were you a tank driver?
It wasn't that long, because I got promoted almost immediately to tank commander.
Okay.
And then I remember one time we were firing, I don't know, it must have been 7-8 hours straight, and just continually firing. And all of a sudden I couldn't hear the phone. So go to hospital, and I come back with a note from the doctor, get this man out of the gun sections.
Hmm.
So showed that to the captain, and he said, well, I guess the only place we can put you in the motor pool. I said, I'm already packed. So that's how I got down the motor pool.
Okay.
A little bit sooner than they wanted me to, but.
So, obviously you did see combat when you were part of the tank.
Well, this was the armored field artillery.
Okay.
These were convertibles. These weren't. You know what a tank looks like?
Yeah.
the big turret.
Mm-hmm.
These didn't have the turrets. These were convertibles.
Oh gosh.
But it's
Mm.
field artillery, so we stayed in one spot.
All right.
So, I don't know if I have a picture of one of those or not. Here's the back of it. Oh, here's the. You can see there's no turn on top.
All right. All right.
And like I said, I call them convertibles. There's the front of it. And they had the tarp over the top for the rain.
Mm-hmm.
The rain out. Oh, I got an actual, just a picture of a tank right now. I thought I did. Probably not. I guess I don't.
Would you like to share any of these photographs? I mean, have scanned versions become part of your record for this project?
Probably could.
Okay.
That's what they look like.
All right. All right. Okay, is that you?
Yeah.
All right. Huh. Okay.
Yeah. My convertible. This is the tank I drive.
All right. All right.
Okay, next question.
Okay. All right. What were some of your most memorable experiences while you were over there?
Probably going on I to Japan. Anyhow, I had a lot of fun over there. My wife kept saying to me that every time I wrote a letter, she felt I was still in the Boy Scouts someplace.
Were you married at that point, or?
No, but I never let on that we were having, that much trouble, whatever. But well, even before I got down to motor pool, I was just hired myself and another, can't remember his name now, but we were hired to build grease pits.
Okay.
And what we did is we out of 6x12s and out off the bank so that they could drive jeeps and trucks on there to grease them and so forth,
Mm-hmm.
which they never had that before.
Hmm.
So then, after I got down up until this time we were living in tents, and at that point I thought, well, after living in tents and basic training in Fort Hood and living in tents here in Korea, I figured the government doesn't have any money for anything. So anyway, we had a little bit of a problem where all of a sudden we started getting shelled.
Really?
And so now we got to start digging in. We got to go underground to build new living quarters and so forth. So we went ahead and we had to help the gun sections all build their bunkers first.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we were last, but by the time we got to build our bunker, we knew what we were doing and could do a better job of it. And we built it. We had 4 rows of bunks, 3 high,
Mm-hmm.
with a table and the stove in the middle, so we could play cards and do whatever in the middle, so forth. But the problem being is we had all our parts for the different vehicles stored in the same place that we were living in.
Hmm.
And under every bunk there was parts all over the place and so forth. So I decided, why not build a shack, parts shack or whatever, to store all this stuff in. Because we had one little garage like we could pull in if it was bad weather. So I wanted to add on to that, and which I did. It was not by myself, but we had it, we added on, and it worked out beautiful. Took all the parts out of our living quarters and put it in that building. And I figured, well, we got to have something to show who we are and what we are. So I decided, I found an old wagon wheel.
All right.
And painted it up and put that on top.
Keep them rolling. Ah. Nice.
Here's and one thing, what I liked about it was that I was able to secure a roll of acetate, which is clear plastic, and I had a picture window the width of this shack that we built. I think I may have a picture someplace of the shack. And when the captain came down and saw that acetate, he blew his top because he had been trying to get enough acetate to cover a couple of maps, and they kept telling him they didn't have any.
Hmm.
And main reason, nobody in our battery, nobody in the battalion liked this guy, so they wouldn't give him anything. So anyway, I said, well, I have a little bit left over, I'll let you have. See, so I gave him some.
Mm-hmm.
But shortly after that, they brought in 2 8-inch guns and put them down the valley in front of us to test fire them. And because they had just come out of ordnance. And when they test fired in those things, the concussion in that valley just ripped that acetate all to shreds.
Hmm.
So I
Can
ended up
imagine.
with a little window. we had to cover it all in.
Hmm.
But that gun, when they fired it, came off, and unfortunately killed one of the operators down there. And that was the
Gosh.
reason it was in ordnance. So apparently they didn't fix it. So.
Hmm.
But anyhow, that would make life a little easier when we got that place built, so that we didn't have to live with all the parts.
Hmm.
And like I say, I probably do have a picture of it someplace.
Okay.
Maybe not. The only thing that we didn't do is we didn't build a bunker for our wash tent. That was, we still had to take a shower in the wash tent.
Ah, okay.
Well, it actually wasn't a shower. It was. And there's the grease racks that we built.
Okay. Hmm.
can't find it right now.
You notice in one of your photographs there was a
Here's
Look.
here's the entrance to our bunker.
nice.
Oops, I'm sorry, that's number 4 ammo bunker. I'm
Oh, okay.
sorry. That was our bunker. You notice what in the picture?
Looked to be a rock, a South Korean soldier. Is that?
What's that? South Korean soldier?
I think I saw in one of the
Right here.
photographs. Yep.
That's snow on the hills,
Uh huh.
all right? And they were stationed in front of us,
Okay.
and they were on their way back after they were told to go down and run through the river
Hmm.
in this weather,
Good grief.
and then go back up. And we thought we had it rough.
Now I can imagine. Was it always really cold there, or is it
It was like New England weather,
really? Okay.
same as New England.
Okay. Now you indicated that you were promoted to the rank of sergeant,
Yeah.
and
Well, I was only in Korea for a short. Well, I better back up. When you go to school in the service,
Mhm.
you don't change ranks.
Mm.
You go to school. If you're going to service for 2 years, you go to school for 2 years. You're going to keep the same rank. They don't promote you while you're going to school.
Mhm.
So when I got over to Korea, I was still the same as I was when I got drafted. But I was only there for maybe a couple months, and I made corporal.
okay.
And then when I went down to the motor pool, I had to go to take a test. And I had, I think, 4 officers that were given the test. It was a verbal test, basically. And the same officer asked me the same question 5 times. Worded it a little bit differently.
Uh huh.
And when he asked me the 5th time, I said, you know, I've already answered this 4 times already. I refuse to answer any more. You can keep your damn stripes.
Hmm.
Well, I was promoted to sergeant. So then, we're on talking about promotion. I went on, I think they referred to it as R&R. We referred to it as I&I. Theirs was rest and recuperation. Ours was intercourse and intoxication. Intercourse and intoxication is what ours was, I&I. So anyway, when I come back from Japan, the captain wanted to see me, so I went to see him, and he said, well, he says, the motor sergeant is going home. We're promoting you to sergeant, to motor sergeant. And he said, you're going to have to sign for all the heavy-duty tools, equipment, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I says, no, I'm not. He says, oh, yeah. No. I'm not signing for anything. I'm not going to be here that long. I can't get any more rank, any more pay, and yet you want me to do this job? No. Well, you're the only one I have qualified to do it. Not anymore. You're going to have the stripes back.
Hmm.
I'm not going to do that job and sign for all the equipment. Well, it turned out the captain signed for all the equipment. I got the job.
Hmm.
Simple. Then it was his turn to go home.
Uh-huh.
The supply sergeant wanted to check out all the equipment that he had signed for. So this was prearranged between the supply sergeant and myself of what we were going to do to him. And so the captain said to the supply sergeant, well, I want Jim to be here because he knows where all the tools are. But we had them scattered all over the place, and because of different trucks, different half-tracks, and in that shed that we had built and so forth, so that they weren't all in one location. So the supply sergeant asked him, the captain, about different things and so forth, and the captain looked at me and I said, well, yeah, that's in the half-track. Well, yeah, that's in the such and such truck. Well, yeah, that's up in tank number so-and-so. And about the 6th or 7th item, the supply sergeant said, Jim, Go get that, I want to see that. All right, so I'd take off, go down, have a beer, come back with the tool. Okay. So then he'd ask me a few more, where the few more tools were, and he'd say, I want to see that tool. I said, okay, pick up the same tool I had brought up there, went down, had another beer, brought the exact same tool back. We did that 4 times before the captain realized what we were doing.
Wow.
And these are things that make it easier for you when you're in combat or something, you know?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you take everything too serious, it's not like right now that what these poor guys go through in Iraq and Afghanistan. They have no idea who the enemy is. At least we knew.
Mm.
They don't have a clue as to who their enemy is. Could be you sitting there.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
be the enemy. You never know.
Hmm. Yes, you indicated that you earned a couple of medals here. If you
Well,
tell-
anybody that just went to Korea got those medals. That didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they weren't earned. Those are just, you know, thanks a lot. You were here. See you later. One thing I did when I was up in the gun section, I took a picture of myself.
Ah.
The
Okay.
camera is sitting in the breech of the 105, and I'm standing out, and it's aiming at me.
Wow.
There's what it looks like enlarged.
Okay. Thank you.
And the guy that had these that developed in Korea, he thought that was fabulous. He never saw anything like that before. As you can see, all the
rifling there, yeah.
What? And this is just where we're located.
All right.
This is where we were,
Okay.
and the river's right here.
All right. All right. Now, what river is that?
Oh, I can't remember the name of it.
Well, it's not the Yalu.
No.
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 It's after.
No. I think we weren't in the Iron Triangle. We were right next to the Iron Triangle.
Okay.
I have. No, we're not on this. The Iron Triangle's in here, but we're not here.
All right.
Yeah, this is where we were here.
Okay. Okay.
That area,
Now, you mentioned getting some shells from the North Koreans and/or the Chinese communists. your unit sustain any casualties?
Yes.
Yes.
We can even go down and go for a swim too.
Huh.
Oh, da-da-da-da-da. That's why I have pictures. Yeah, what we did too is we would paint purple hearts on it and put the name on it.
Ah. Very nice.
This was in August of '52.
Okay.
Hey lady, can't you take care of that pet?
Now, was the food decent?
Yes,
Really?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now that you mention that, the food was excellent.
Hmm.
When I first got there, like I explained, that I was still a lowly private, and they had the mess hall. They had the mess hall segregated, where the sergeants on up ate in one section,
Mm-hmm.
and all those peons had to eat in the other section. But anyway, the section with the sergeants on up was usually quite full all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And after I became sergeant, we had a battalion officer come through, rode through with our captain, and he said to the captain, he says, there's seems to be an awful large number of sergeants and so forth in your area. More so than any other battery.
Mm-hmm.
The captain kind of stuck his chest out. Well, they're all just acting.
Hmm.
The boss looked at him, he says, I want the stripes off of anybody that they don't belong to. So, next morning when I went up to breakfast, there was nobody on the side where the sergeants and officers were.
Hmm.
I think I was myself and two others, and that was it. They were all back
Gosh.
to privates on the other side.
Hmm.
So, 1952, Christmas menu consisted of shrimp cocktail, crackers, stuffed celery sticks, olives, pickles, roast young tom turkey, poultry dressing, giblet gravy, cranberry sauce, snowflake potatoes, glazed sweet potatoes, buttered green beans, coleslaw, hot Parker House rolls, oleo, hot mince pie, fruit cake, apples, tangerines, oranges, assorted candy, mixed nuts, and coffee.
Hmm.
And any beer that we could sneak in. So we had a good mess hall. They took care of us.
That's good. That's good. Now, were you able to keep in touch with your friends and family back home?
Oh yeah. That was no problem.
So you wrote letters to each other, and
Oh yeah, I've got,
Yeah.
I've got a drawer full of letters, all the letters that I wrote to my girlfriend,
uh-huh.
she kept, I still have them.
Nice. Wow.
I haven't had a chance to sit down and read them yet, but one of these days I'm going to read them and put them on the computer.
Nice. Nice. Now, well, you mentioned in terms of leisure activities, you mentioned I sessions. Did you have USO shows and things like that?
No,
No.
we were too close to the action to have this.
Oh.
That
Okay.
we just and I should mention too that we had a captain. I forget now which one it was, but if anybody, any one person, goofed up in the outfit, he would cancel the beer rations for everybody.
Hmm.
And that didn't sit too well with a lot of people, because the beer helped keep the morale up of the troops. So when he did that, and I was down involved in a motor pool, we had 12 of us in the motor pool. I would get $10 a piece from each guy, and send one of the men down with $120 to go down and buy $120 worth of beer.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, I guess it was $2 a case or something. He'd come back with a truckload of beer. So we would call the gun section and say, okay, we've got 40 cases of beer down here. The first 40 guys down with $10 a piece can have it, and we'd sell it. And that would give us enough money to go back and get the rest of the beer that we should have had in the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we had to keep it hidden. We, dug holes underneath the floorboards and buried it and everything else, kept it out of sight of the captain. But that's how we got the beer back in. We boosted up the morale of the people.
Hmm. Hmm. Huh.
And then when that captain was getting ready to go home, I asked the new guy coming in if I could have the honor of driving the guy down to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And the new captain said, well, why? I said, I just want to make sure this son of a bitch gets out of here. Plus the fact I've got a friend of mine that's stationed near there. I'd like to go visit. And he said, well, yeah, all right. See. Well, a friend of mine I wanted to go visit was over on the other side of the peninsula, and he was closer to the front than I was.
Hmm.
So it was quite a trip to go down to Seoul, drop him off, then go back up the other side to go visit. Then this friend that I wanted to visit was the same guy I got drafted with,
Mm-hmm.
classmate in school, high school. And so when I was almost to his outfit, there's MPs directing traffic. But then I realized now I'm getting a little bit too close to the front now. They got MPs directing traffic and stuff. So they asked me where I was going. I told them where I was heading. And he said, okay. I'm driving down the road and there's 3 guys hitchhiking. One of which is the guy I'm looking for. And I'm driving the captain's Jeep with all the officer's markings on it. So I just purposely pulled past and stopped. And they come running up, and this classmate of mine looks in, he says, you son of a bitch. I said, well, hop in, where are you going? He said, here, we're going back to town now that we got transportation. But we had a good time.
Uh-huh.
And on the way back that night, I rolled the Jeep over on its side. And so, making a U-turn or whatever. And so I got out and waved down the next truck that came along. It happened to be a bunch of South Koreans in it. I said, come on guys, I need that. They flipped it right back up for me.
That's
Away
good.
I went.
That's good.
And I got back and I said, oh boy, I'm going to really catch hell tomorrow when the captain sees this Jeep. And I went to bed and I said, the heck with it. The captain woke me up. He says, Burns, I want to see you in the mess tent. 10 minutes. I said, okay. And I said, oh, I've had it. I go out and there's his Jeep sitting there shining like it was new. I said, gee, what the hell does he want? You know, so I went up to see him, and the mess tent had nothing to do with the Jeep. What happened, my crew got up, when they saw the damage to the Jeep, they fixed it all up and cleaned it up before the captain saw it. That's what happens when you treat your men right.
That was nice of them.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
oh yeah.
Wow.
When you treat your help right, that's how they'll treat you, so. Oh yeah.
Nice. So what did he want to see about?
Oh, it had nothing to do with that.
Now, did you keep a diary while you were there, or?
Just the letters I wrote.
Okay, okay.
I didn't keep anything.
All right. And in general, obviously you had a good rapport with your fellow soldiers and your commanding officers.
And we had to take a special trip further towards the front.
Uh-huh.
And this is when it's getting close to my time to be going home.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't relish the thought of going any closer to the enemy than I had to. But we made, in fact, we made 3 trips, I think. Well, 2, I went on 2 of them. And we had, every so often, we'd have trouble with one particular tank. So that's the reason I was supposed to go along, to just make sure we had no trouble and everything. But we didn't have any trouble with that particular tank at that time. But came time when we had to take all the tanks from the whole battalion, not just the one battery, all the tanks from the whole battalion, and take them further back. And the idea was to line them up and test fire every one of them, because we were being used. So these are tanks, by the way, that came from the desert in Africa in the Second World War. These were nothing new. And so the guns were getting all out of whack because of that, so we had to recalibrate them all and so forth. And we had 3 drivers at that point that were not actually drivers. They were just given that job title because they had to have somebody in that as a driver. They had no idea how to drive a tank. So 3 of us from the motor pool had to drive these tanks. And we knew one of them that had a problem with the gas tank was so old that the gas tank kept falling apart on the inside, and all this material that was collapsing on the inside of the tank would clog up the filter and the carburetor. So we drew straws to see who was going to drive that one. I got that one. Okay. So we no sooner got out of sight of the outfit and the tank died. It just it would idle all right, but as soon as you put it under power to try and move it, it would. So I didn't bring my toolbox with me, of course. So I'm trying to find a tool on the tank that would fit to get the nut off the bottom of this filter on the carburetor, and I had it wrenched at almost the right size, and it wouldn't quite work, and I'm swearing at it, and I'm cussing, and I'm saying, geez, if I had the right goddamn wrench, I could get this done. And a voice behind me says, why don't you take my Jeep and go get the right wrench? I said, uh-oh, this ain't no private behind me. I said, yes, sir. So I went back, got my toolbox. I got back, and the tank was gone. The guy that was assigned as a driver, they told him to keep moving as best he could. So you let the clutch out, it would move a little bit, and then die, you push the clutch in, and just, like this, down the road. So caught up to him, drained out the stuff out of the filter, running good. I put a lock on my toolbox, don't know why I did, but I did. Threw it up in the back and jumped up. And this guy that was in the driver's seat, was listed as the driver, he said to me, he said, you want to drive? I said, no, you'll never learn, for God's sake, go ahead, I'm sorry I ever said that. But anyway, he did all right until we're going downhill. And I forgot to warn him, there's no brakes on these things. You got to shift it down. And what you steer with are 2 long levers, and everybody thinks they're brakes, but they're not. and one controls one side and one controls the other side.
Mhm.
And no matter how well you adjust them, you're not going to get them the same because your arms aren't the same as far as strength goes. So therefore, you never get them equal, no matter what you do. And we're going down this hill. I thought, oh. Now I'm trying to get up to him so that I can tell him what to do and so forth. And I just kept hollering, go to the left. No, we're going down this hill and the river's down there and there's banks over here. I said, go to the left, hit the bank, don't go down in that way. So he finally got the message, and just before we hit the bridge in the river, he went off to the left and we went down and we ended up in the middle of the river. At that point, the captain and the warrant officer were sitting on the bridge. And the captain, this is the driver told me afterwards, that the captain stood up and he said, "God damn, Burns told me he couldn't drive. Thought I was driving going down that hill." So then we had to pick this kid out of the seat, driver's seat. He was scared, out of his wits. So we picked him out and I got in there. And of course, across the river there was a wall about like this, and I said, I'll never climb up that. I got to go back up the same way. But I just headed for that wall, and they made a U-turn, so I get enough speed so I get back up that hill. Got back up the hill, and got on that bridge behind the captain's jeep. Of course, we were supposed to go through the river, and we were supposed to go across the bridges with these tanks because of the weight of them.
Mhm.
But I got right on that, behind that jeep, and the spare tire sits in the back on the jeep, and the gun on the tank when you're in a traveling position is held down, and it's about the same height as that. And I kept bumping that. Well, the captain stood up and looked at me, and he slow down, slow down. And I never slowed down. The jeep driver went a little faster to get away. And the warrant officer sitting in the back, he turned around, come on. Like I say, nobody liked this captain. And I'm not going to give any names. So
Wow.
on the way back, this is because on the way over I was the last tank because they knew I had the problem. So I had to follow 17 tanks on the way over. On the way back, I was the second one back. I couldn't beat this is just before I became motor sergeant, because the motor sergeant at the time was doing the same thing I was, right across the bridge. And I caught up to him. And he was the first one back and I was the second one back. We both caught hell about that, but oh what. So then we had this one more trip they had to take up further up towards the front lines. And by then my replacement was there. He was a corporal. 18 years in the service and he's only a corporal. And boy, this must be a winner. So I'm sending him on the trip because I'm getting close to getting on trip home. And the captain comes down. He says, Burns, I want you to go. I says, no way. I says, this guy's taking my place. Let him learn the ropes. Let him go. I'll stay here and hold the fort down. And I don't know how much trouble they had. I think 3 tanks broke down and everything on that trip.
Wow.
And I said to the captain, I said, well, I wish you a lot of luck with my replacement. After 18 years in the service and only a corporal, he must have been a real screw-up.
Wow.
I never did get to know him that well because I shipped out shortly after that. So.
Now you indicate that you left in April '53.
No, I got discharged in April '53.
Okay.
We left sometime in February. I left.
Okay.
And went to Japan and waited for order to ship out. I got my order to ship. Oh, that I met this classmate of mine. I met him again in Japan. And I got my order to ship out, so I'm thumbing my nose at him because he didn't get his orders. So I get on the ship, And 28 days later, get to New York.
Hmm.
He got his orders, flew home, and was discharged even before I went through the Panama Canal. I was still on the Pacific Ocean before.
Oh gosh.
He flew home and got.
Huh.
But we stopped in different places, and we stopped before we went through the Panama Canal. They docked, and they said that they had a warehouse full of beer.
Mm-hmm.
All you want for a buck a case or something like that. So we all went back carrying 3, 4, 5 cases, as many as you could carry, to the dock.
Mm-hmm.
We got down the dock, and we had the it was the it was the William Weagle was the name of the ship, and it was, and they wouldn't let us board the ship with the beer.
Hmm.
So anyhow, the guys I'm with and everything else, I said, okay, 2 of us stay here, and the rest of you get up on the deck up there as soon as you can. Hurry up and get up there because it's going to get crowded pretty soon. We started throwing them. And after a while, you looked down the pier, and all you could see was a barrage of beer cans being thrown onto that ship. And everybody really didn't care who got them, as long as we get the beer on the ship, and we'll hassle about later who's going to. And it was comical as all hell to see all this beer cans being thrown up there. No way could they stop us.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get into go through the canal, and we get into the lake that makes up the water that makes up the canal, and we're all getting ready to dive over and go for a swim, and they on the loudspeaker, any military personnel caught going in the water will be dishonorably discharged.
Mm.
But all the civilians around the boat, they're all jumping and having a good time, but we couldn't do it. So then we went and we stopped in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
Every place we stopped, I volunteered to get off the ship, just, you know. And then we got to, going over, back up a bit, leaving California, the last thing I saw was the Golden Gate Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming back, we crossed on the bridge, but the first thing I remember seeing is the Statue of Liberty.
Hmm.
And when that came in sight, you could hear nothing but beer cans popping open all the way down the ship. Everybody celebrating.
Wow.
So then we had, I think they put on 3 shows that night. And what it was, that all the different Broadway shows,
Mm-hmm.
the different people who run the shows came on the ship and put on shows for us.
Very nice.
And then they had the fire boats and so forth, and it was really nice to be home.
I can imagine.
And somewhere here, six-hour transport show welcomes Korea vets. Broadway stars turned a troop ship into a nightclub to welcome home the first 1,923 Korea veterans to reach an East Coast port. The troop ship, the General William Weagle, also carried 315 veterans of other Far East service. The entertainment continued almost continuously from 8:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. as the Navy ship lay in harbor at the lower harbor within sight of the Statue of Liberty. 3 main performances were staged in the ship's auditorium, which holds about 1,000 in sardine style. In addition, troops of entertainers did their stuff in other parts of the ship for those crowded out of the auditorium. The vets had whoop whistles for the singers and actors who came aboard. "Man, I haven't seen a woman like that for 20 months, grinned one sergeant. There were a lot more like him. The men from Korea loved the show, and the Broadwayites loved them. The veterans were a widely enthusiastic audience. Television Master of Ceremonies directed, Ed Sullivan, columnist and television Master of Ceremonies, directed the main show. It includes such stars as French songstress Lucine Boyer, pianist humorist Victor Borg, ventriloquist Jimmy Nelson, Cab Calloway, comedian Tom Ewell, Vanessa Brown, Martha Wright, George Britton, and others. Some of the show folks arrived after midnight on tugboats after doing the regular Broadway shows. Bill Kenny of the Ink Spots and Snub Mosley, and his musical combo arrived early and kept plugging away. The Mosley combo turned up for a session in the mess hall, and it wasn't long before the delighted vets got loose on a jitterbug spree. The transport docked in Brooklyn at 9:30 this morning. The homecoming vets are from 31 states and the District of Columbia. Most of them live east of the Mississippi, with a few from Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and New Mexico. They left Yokohama March 6th, coming here by way of the Panama Canal.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
this was April 1st.
Okay.
That's the one that was in the paper.
Wow. Are you in that photograph?
Yeah.
Or-
Right here.
Okay.
And I think I got a...
Ah.
Never sure looked at it, I think.
Very nice.
These are the things that I remember about the service.
Uh-huh. Now, so you were discharged in April '53. And
Here's the... That was our sign that we... where it was.
okay.
This is the thing. This was mounted on top of this garage.
All right.
It wasn't on there when this picture was taken, and you can see the grease pits there that I built.
Okay.
And then we had the floods came. That's the bridge when it's starting to go, and then here's after it's gone completely.
Oh gosh.
And then the other bridge, this was a wooden bridge, and the other metal bridge that was up here,
Mm-hmm.
that went, and that laid underwater here.
Hmm.
And when that happened, that created the river that much deeper underneath because it washed it right out.
Hmm.
And we used to always take the tanks down to run them through the river to wash the tracks off and everything else. And the first time I went down to do it after the floods, I drove in and boop, I'm underwater.
Oh gosh.
So I slapped in reverse and backed right out, and I looked and the whole crew had jumped off. I said, "You jerks, I could have backed over you for God's sakes." But I was the only one that went underwater, they didn't.
Hmm. Could I just show that to the camera real quick?
Well, this was taken in Tokyo, this one here.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll put that on there or not. It's up to you.
All right.
I forget his name. I don't know if I have it written on the back side or not. I might have. Well, this was at the Club Rio was a private club,
Mm-hmm.
and the bartender from the Yokohama Hotel, he's the one that brought us to this private club afterwards. This guy here.
Okay.
He was the bartender at the hotel that we were staying at. This Club Rio happened to be a private club, and the only way you could get in there with somebody that was.
That was an inn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
boy, here's a better picture. Here's the original picture.
Ah, okay. All right.
And the thing that bugged me the most about that landing in New York was they had all kinds of ceremonies going on the dock, and they could only have so many people on that side of the ship. I got stuck with the other half on the other side of the ship.
Mm.
We saw nothing of really what was going on the dock. And even though my mother and father and my girlfriend were down on the dock at the time, I didn't tell anybody I was coming home. But this classmate that flew home and got discharged before I got to the States, of course, told everybody that I'm on the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they found out that when I was going to be coming in.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, after all the activities they had going on the dock, we got off the ship. They walked us down to the end of the pier, put us on tugboats, took us across the river to New Jersey. And we got over there, and they said that we were going to be stuck there until we all get processed to go home, to get discharged. And now it's Easter. And we all in unison said, you know, hate to tell you what we did say, but anyway, we're going home, we'll come back and you can take care of us later. And they did, they let us go.
That's good. That's good.
You know, most of the parents or wives or girlfriends were there to meet these people, to meet us all, and then they're telling us we can't go. So we came home and we had Easter and so forth, and went back down and got discharged.
And now, after your service, you returned to Connecticut, and did you return to Newington, or?
Yep.
Yep. And did you return to school afterward? Or?
No. I didn't go back to school, no.
Okay.
Went back to work.
Okay. And
Well, it was my mistake, but
did you keep in touch with any of your comrades after everybody came home?
well, the classmate that I went to school with, of course, and of course I've lost touch with him since we had our 50th class reunion.
Mm-hmm.
I've lost touch with him. He's been in and out of the VA hospital down in New Haven,
Oh gosh.
and so I lost contact with him. But a couple of years ago, I met Al Juanitas from, he's from California. Anyhow, I met he and his wife, and we spent a weekend together.
Okay.
He was in one of these pictures with the wagon wheel.
All right.
Yeah, he's in this picture here,
Okay.
and he's in. This is inside the bunker. It's hard to see that one.
And have you joined like, the local VFW? And
Yes,
yeah,
I belong.
yeah. Obviously, yes. Okay. And is there anything else you'd like to?
The VFW I belong
Yeah.
to is the Gildo G. Consolini,
Okay.
post 3272.
Mm-hmm.
It was named after the first person that got killed in the Second World War in the town of Avon.
Hmm. And how long have you lived in Avon?
Oh, 50-something years.
Wow. Very nice. Is there anything else you'd like to add, or?
I think I gave you all the fun parts.
All right. Well, I want to thank you again for myself and on behalf of the Veterans History Project for telling your story. And let me